those states. He didn't just legislate it, there were consultations. So, if a state does not have land genuinely, it's understood. Not every state will have ranches. You don't have to have ranches in 36 states. So, if there's no land genuinely, fine. But where you have land and you can do something, please do for peace. What will the land be used for if those who own it are dead at the end of the day? It's better, like somebody has said before, it's better to live on the land than to be under the land.
Can you believe that? For the sake of the Fulani terrorists, it is better to live on the land than under the land. You can make do with whatever you want with that. So, Lawan, there are things that a cow business, business is not a private business. You can please tell him that, yeah, Nigeria may be their personal wallet, the elite of the North. But there are people inside that Nigeria that are not part and parcel of that property of that Nigeria. They don't own Nigeria. They don't own Yoruba land. And I bet they don't own the southern Nigeria too. They own nowhere, by the way. They actually own nowhere. But if in their mind, Nigeria is their private company, then we will always like to remind them, right? That when the illusion dies, when they wake up, there may be no Nigeria anymore for them to brag about or dream about and lord it over. Again, I'm going to take a short break where, let Kolu clap for me. At least let Kolu clap for me because I can't see all of you clapping for me anyway since we started.
That will be achieved by...
Thank you. Thank you. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to take a short break. And my short break is just going to be for like a minute. Don't go anywhere. I just want to go and make another tea. Then we're going to go to the parts, which is Tinubu's caught and join, interview. Just a brief on that and what he said, especially on this issue of insecurity, where he said that Bukwari has done well. Because there's nowhere where Tinubu speaks. Honestly speaking, there's nowhere he speaks or addresses the people that it won't sound like, it won't sound like he's campaigning against, against Bukwari. I'll be back.
Come on. Instead of going to London, you want the votes in Katsina? Go to Batsari, go to Faskari, go and empathize with IDPs, with our people. You're going to London to do what? Are the people in London going to elect you? Are the people in diaspora? So, let me tell you this, to be honest. I've always said Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his politics has never been national. His politics has always been regional, in the southwest, and mostly Lagos, where he's the El Comandante, nobody. And his inexperience nationally on the national front is showing. How, especially when he started, it was the SGF, the former SGF, who was his very good friend, Bidi Law, that said he was not going to the southeast because it's a waste of time and money. That's what he said. So in the north, this is what I'm seeing. He is subcontracting the governors and political praise singers to bring the votes for him. I mean, this is political miscalculation. Nobody's advising him. None of the APC governors in the north has the goodwill of the people to deliver anything to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If he's given them money for that, he should get his money back. Come talk to us. We don't know him. Look, let's compare and contrast him, a Muslim from the southwest, doing the same ticket as late MKO Abiola and Kinkibe. They're totally different people. MKO Abiola invested in relationships in the north for a very long time. He knew people. Long time, since Shagari's time, 79. He invested in relationship. So also Obasanjo has invested in relationships. This guy, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, thinks it is bullion bonds that will get him to the office without talking to the people without meeting the people. And I see the questions that were asked. I was scandalized. I mean, they're not talking to us. By us, Charles, by us I mean we people in the North. They're just talking to themselves. And Gandhi said, whatever you do for me, without me, is against me. They don't understand us at all.
Well, although I know that you don't aspire to be a member of his team, but if you were one of his campaign advisors, what would you be advising him to be doing or to do going forward?
Going forward, he should talk to people. He should appear in interviews. I like appearing in places where they're hostile to me. You break that hostility. That's the only way you break that hostility. Go meet the people. Don't subcontract your campaign for presidency to surrogates, as he's doing. Does he think Nasir El-Rufai will deliver Kaduna to him? The answer is a no. Does he think Masari will deliver Katsina to him? The answer is no. Does he think Ganduja will deliver Kano to him? No. Does he think Jigawa will be delivered by Badaru? No. Does he think Atiku in Kebbi can deliver Kebbi to him? The answer is no. So whatever they are telling him, he needs to wake up. He's been politically naive on the national front.
But how is what Atiku is doing different from?
Anyway, see, call it a political talk, okay? It's just about the northern Nigeria, where Kolu is banking on, and most importantly, talking about the damages, the division, the destruction, the level of, isolation that the APC, Egbekegbe, led by Bokwari, that they have shown or achieved rather in the last 7 years in Nigeria, which is actually their workbook, so to say, like their playbook. Something you can say, the Eastern Nigeria has been considered not part of the Nigeria of APC, and everyone from that part are to be treated like a pariah. You have to make confession. You have to come out and, you have to say, hey, I am not like them. Or even though I am, you have to pledge and pledge and pledge and pledge, and nothing you do is going to ever make them admit you. And that politics of APC, Egbekegbe, seems to be the politics of the Fulani elite, the northern elite, since after 1966. I want to believe. Because I've told you before, I said after the 1970 Nigeria genocidal war, what replaced the Nigerian genocidal war at the time was the Cold War, where if you are an Igbo man, there is no amount of thing where you do. See, I'm a Yoruba man. And ordinarily, I am supposed to tell you that you are loved, you are welcome, and this of that, just because I want to make you feel among and say we are one. No, it's not true. In practice, it's not. Human to human, yes, we are. We share a lot in common. But you see, in Nigeria, me as a Yoruba man, my own scale from 1 to 10, when they start putting all of us from our nationality in Nigeria, when they start putting us where we belong, where they place us. A Yoruba man, they are suspecting a Yoruba man, but put them up a bit. But an Igbo man, put them down there. No. I said, but it's a very outstanding, we know, put them, like, you are always profiled in a way, and somehow, it is reflecting in the ruling or the control of the governance of the country. I'm talking about the running, day-to-day running of the country, where everybody should have a sense of belonging. As much as, all of us know our places, the Igbo man is more suspected. Why? Because the system put in place after the revenge coup of 1966, Then after the Biafran genocidal war of Nigeria, it made an Igbo man a threat. That is just there. If he's just there like this, no, they talk anything. They will be talking about him. Why is he not talking now? What is wrong with him? Why is he keeping? You see, I'm suspecting he's keeping quiet. Look at it. I'm suspecting him, arrest or kill him. Why is he keeping quiet? And when he start talking, look at him. They see he's bragging. He started bragging now. That's why I don't like all this Igbo. They will be bragging. Look at him. Every small thing now, it's always there. All these biases are always there. They call it Cold War. You know where they are coming from? They are coming from the generation that bought the propaganda, but they didn't understand, should I say, or they were too ignorant to probe and ask, excuse me, sir, why are we fighting war with the Biafrans who want to have their own country? Excuse me, sir, can we have? They were not asking. They were being fed with different lies, propagandas upon propagandas, and the generation who agreed that it was the right thing to do to kill 5 million people so that they can keep the Biafrans as part of Nigeria, and all of us go to see this shege we are seeing today. Imagine if Biafra don't get their independence 50 years ago. We'll be talking about them the same way we are talking about Benin Republic, talking about Togo. They will say, I remember when Biafrans got their, you know what I'm talking about. But today, when we talk about Nigeria, the question I ask myself is, can we know why they actually stopped them in 1967 to 1970? Why exactly did they stop? They stopped them, not because they love Biafrans, not because they love anything about Biafra, but because Biafra was sitting on the future gold mine of Nigeria, and that could just spiral the people of Biafra as the most luckiest out of the past century, with the best of the best ideas and the best working country. You know, Benin Republic no get anything, Togo no get anything. Biafra would have been the richest in Africa by now. I'm not saying they would probably, whether they won't be mismanaged or they will be managed well or not, that's another story. But it would have been one of the richest in Africa today, honestly speaking. Because you see all this Niger Delta everywhere, they will be part of Biafra today. Biafra will start from, you see that after Benin, going to Warri, after all those places, Biafra will start from all those, enter Bayelsa, it's enter everywhere. Go and check the people who make up the body of a Biafran region. For that 3 years, you will see everybody from every part of what is today the eastern part, what is the whole eastern region of Nigeria. They would have been the richest. They would have been the best. I mean, for real. The only thing is that the Niger Delta, Ijaw nation, they may be the one asking for independence from Biafra now. Imagine. If Biafra got their independence then, they would have built so well, they would have done so well for themselves. They wouldn't have anybody to blame for anything. So when I ask myself, why did they keep them? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Like, wait, why did they keep Biafrans? Is it because they want all of us to see this shege together? All of us to live and exist together in the poverty capital of the world? Like, why exactly did they kill people just to keep the Igbos as part of Nigeria? There's no other reason than for themselves. And it is obvious. It's not because they wanted to develop anything. Now, APC, Egbekegbe, is carrying on that trajectory. Bokwari called them the dots. When they are plotting, when they are planning their development, when they are planning anything good or so, the Igbo and the Eastern region comes last. It is personal. It is called the renewal of the Cold War. No matter what they tell you, when an Igbo man says, we don't say you hate us. No, I don't like you always. Trying to always claim that they hate you and this or that. They don't, like the victims. The victim would, they say, we know what they did to you. We know what they are doing to you. But you have proved it over time. Your parents proved it. After the Civil War, they came out of it with almost nothing, but their heirs intact. They built from nothing. Look at what you have done. Look at what your parents, who succeeded the Civil War then, and many of you who have become what you have become today, coming out of them after the Civil War, are those not enough for you to know that you are not victims? Nigeria is not big enough to make you a victim. Even though some of you love to sound like you are, you know what I mean? You should always see it as if like, there must be something they want in you, even though it's not in your interest, it's not to your favor. But do not ever see yourself as victims anymore. Like, I mean, I don't see you as one, no, and I'm not patronizing you. Look at me, oh. I'm not saying all of this because I want you to like my ego or not. I've said that many times. So I am saying many things I've been saying about what has happened to the Biafrans, what they are doing to the Biafrans. I'm saying them because I can see the same templates. Here you get now. I can see the same pattern, which is when they are done with the Igbos, it will be the turn of the Yorubas. Whatever the Igbos have been experiencing in the hand of Nigerian system in the last 50 years, ladies and gentlemen, as long as Nigeria exists, when they are done with them, they will turn on others, and it will just be like, say, it used to be. And that's why I'm speaking out today, to make sure that even if I'm dead, long gone, there will still be Yorubas who are smart enough to understand how and why we found ourselves where we are and what they should do, which is they must resist. That's what I'm doing. By telling them, look at what they are doing to the Igbos. Look at what they are doing in Igbo land. Look at all the Igbo saboteurs who are making it happen as well, because they are also being rewarded for helping them to destroy Igbo land, destroy Igbo people, and the rest of that. For what? For the peanut that Nigeria is offering them. The same people that you are seeing there, keeping quiet or supporting Nigeria as they are destroying Igbo land, as we see, right? By APC, Egbe, you have them in Yoruba land too. They are Yorubas. The day it becomes our turn, now so they go watch them burn Yoruba land down. They will tell you why they have to do it, because some of you you are stupid. You are not grateful enough. You should be thankful that you are part of Nigeria. All of you are too small. You are children. Your parents don't teach you well. That's why they are killing you. Same thing they are saying to the Igbos today. Those who saw what happened, those who lived it, those who survived the rigged system of Nigeria, but because they are now being rewarded or something is being given to them by Nigeria, everyone can go to blazes. So that's why I'm speaking out to say, I'm not Igbo, but they will do the same thing to us. I'm not even dead yet. They have already started doing it to us as well in Yoruba land. Have you not seen it? What do you think you should do? And do you even know what to do? Do you know how to react? Do you know how to react if you don't look at those who have been the victims for so long? 50 years. They say, well, you are always talking about the Igbos. I say, I am talking about you. Because it's going to be your turn. In fact, it's already your turn. But psychologically, you are telling yourself that, well, I'm a Yoruba man. Our local. The day you will realize it may be too late. So I'm not talking about them. I am talking about what they will do to us. Because when they start doing it to us, they will say, shut up your mouth. Are you the only person? At least they did it to the Middle Beltans, the Benue people. You see what? See now? They why are you screaming? Are you the first person? This is Nigeria. Let us all pray for our government. Pray for your killers. Yoruba, we will not pray for our killers. So me, I will not encourage you to pray for your killers. I'm going to encourage you to stand up for yourself all together and get rid of our killers. The threat to our lives. So if I speak about the Igbos, if I speak about it's because there are things happening. And there are already replica of all those things, right? Right there in Yoruba land. We can see it. It's just that some of you don't want to. Because it's so sad to realize that you are suffering the same thing. And that is why we say, when they now said, Tinubu told them that going to Eastern Nigeria is a waste of time. And somebody tell you that Tinubu is bringing progress to Nigeria. Do you know one of the reasons why Pokwari actually failed is because of his hatred for the people of Eastern Nigeria? He is so loaded with that hatred, so much. He came with so much revenge, right? That he started acting on impulse. Shemika call him impulse on terrible impulses. He wanted to prove something. It's like he's so eager to show to the Igbos that I am senior, I will show you. But it is not enough. That's the problem. Now, for 7 years, all he succeeded in doing is to show to the Igbos that they are not wanted in Nigeria. I'm a Yoruba man. I can see that. If you are an Igbo man and you are not seeing it, question where you are, question where your last meal came from. If your last meal came from you being part of Yes Men for Nigeria, then I understand. But if your last meal came from your sweat, the one that Nigeria is willing and ready to use their policy to take away from you by every means, you will never disagree with me. You will know that this last 7 years, if they have shown anything to you at all, is that you don't belong to Nigeria. Do everything you can, support your brothers and sisters, team up in unison, and bring out Biafra as soon as possible. That's what they have shown you in 7 years. Babashir Lawal. Babashir Lawal was the man who bought the form for Kolu, the presidential form for Kolu. And Babashir Lawal said the first shock of his life was when they were trying to, at least for formality's sake, we don't pay people, we go pay everybody. But for formality's sake, let us go to the, as we don't go to the west, we have been to the northwest, we have been to the northeast, we have been to the north central, dangerous places. So we have been to here and there, but we need to go to south. We need to go to the southeast and meet with our people there. Tinubu categorically told him, he said, listen, Babashir Lawal, going to eastern Nigeria to go and talk to the Igbos is a waste of time, waste of money. And I don't want to waste my money or my time going there. Really? Okay. That's strange. I'm surprised. Even Buhari was not afraid to go to Igbo land to go and pretend that he likes them. He's one of them. You. I fear you. So when they now brought their Muslim ticket, Babashir Lawal said he had to run. He's closer to them. He's very near them. And usually, they say if people show you their true color the first time, the ideal thing is for you to believe them. Don't give excuses for them. Because whatever they tell you is who they are. Indeed. The Igbos are not wanted in a... Mayegun, what do you mean by Igbos are not... Well, okay. Maybe I shouldn't say that, Abi. APC, Egbekegbe, in charge of Nigeria right now. As long as APC, Egbekegbe, is in charge of Nigeria, they will continue to remind you as an Igbo man, as a Southeasterner, Ijo man, Shekiri man, Yoruba man, everybody from that South where they created because of politics as well, Una be una nation, no, but I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, all of that we then created because of that. To Nigeria, you be Biafrans, you be Easterners. So as Easterner, they would never trust you. And they will continue to let you know that Nigeria is not for you. One of you was president, especially Jonathan. He was president. And God, man, he was the most humiliated president you've ever had. Because he's a Southerner. You know, get how he take the president? They fed on him. They wanted to hit him alive. Now they are begging him. Because they need that power too. So APC will continue to remind you, like I said, and people destroying people is no different. Watch this.
Number one. And two, for the fact that it is difficult for the party to truly go on, even as we flagged up our campaigns, without formally coming to request that though we are very conversant with the fact that you're playing elder statesman's role, not only within our nation, but across our sub-region in Africa, that there is the need for us to come forth, to truly be, that you need to give us guidance, you need to offer us your prayers, and you need to truly find a way to add your voice, both publicly and even privately, in many situations that we call for you to speak on behalf of this nation, on behalf of our country, on behalf of the People's Democratic Party. A lot of people may have said one thing or the other, but APC change. God bless you all. God bless you all. you. We will change Jonathan, don't worry. See the man who is going to change Jonathan here. The chairman.
You know, what I don't like in people, we forget history easily. We forget history. We forget history that in 2015, when Jonathan, as a sitting president, I'm not talking as a Cuba, as a presidential candidate. I'm saying as a sitting.
So they are begging him now to come and endorse Atiku, so that Atiku can rescue you from APC. Somebody already said that people, PDP. Yes, you can say that too. People destroying people. PDP. Na bad society. APC. Àwọn ẹgbẹ́ ibi, àwọn ẹgbẹ́ òfò, àwọn apààyàn. You with me? So the whole fraud, in a way, continue to kind of, make us to ask questions like, to what end, to what goal is keeping Nigeria warm, with the intention, or should I say with the intent to continue to what? Enslave us, is that? Anyway, the other day you had this news, the news of the newly discovered oil in Gombe and Bauchi. Shall you remember? Do you remember that? Now that is about to cause the Second World War up north now. Some people are saying that Mayegun, no, they dull yourself. There's no crude oil anywhere. Oh, now, Bobo. I said, why? They say, okay, wait for it. Now, Bauchi and Gombe, they are about to set up their own terrorist group. Or should we call them militant, oil militant in the north? Because according to them, the Mailori Molokori oil rig that they said they found, 1 and 2, Bauchi said is their own. Gombe said not their own. No be anything joint own. Bokwari said na 2 of them own them. But it can't be like saying na Bauchi the land gone day. Some said the be like saying na the pipeline. The crude oil where they bring from Niger Delta, where they put the pipeline enter. So once them pump. So the people of Gombe then get the code, say now part of the pipeline pass through their land. It be like saying they lay pipeline through your land there, and then they can't put the pipe out in another person's backyard. And you are like, listen, if I don't want you to pump oil, I can just stop it from my own land and put the pipe up in my own land, and you will not get oil. Anyway, $3 billion investment is about to cause another problems up north. You have the Boko Haram 1, Boko Haram 2, ISWAP 1, ISWAP 2, Fulani terrorists, the professional kidnappers, the negotiators who are also terrorists, the arms dealer who are supplying them all that, including the human trafficker who takes out the people they kidnap, who can't afford the ransom, and they set them off into slavery. In other other Islamic terrorized, regions in Africa, or where all these terrorists are there with their arms and all that again. Sorry, that didn't slip. Islamic terrorist or Islamic terrorized part of Africa, where people are shouting Allahu Akbar, cutting head and the rest of them in the name of Islam. In a way, we agree that they didn't represent Islam, but you can say that to the people that they said Bismillah before they cut off the head of their family members, in a way. So in all of this, we are about to get the new entrants into the fray. The armed jihadist militants fighting for oil up north. Maybe if there is, that is if there is one. So I was reading that and I was like, okay, that's interesting. So we're going to see if we are going to start reading about the oil worker kidnapped, or maybe that is actually what is going to bring to the fore the truth about the oil that has been discovered up north. What else? What else are they not sharing? What else are they hiding? And on like that. Because Nigeria is so fake that when something sounds so good to be true, then it is. That's confusing, Abi. And so now, as soon as they talk the English, they say if it is too good to be true, then it is true. I mean, it is too good, or I don't know. Too good is that when it looks like, oh, this is impossible. Do you get that now? But this is fluke, Jerry. Too good to be true. When something is a lie, when you suspect something is a lie, then it is a lie. If you pay attention very well. So it's a matter of time. They haven't started shooting, they haven't even started pumping the oil. It'd be like, say, for the political optics, they don't achieve that one until further notice. Or maybe when they wanted to start pumping the oil to see who is the real owner. Some said, Mayegun. Northern Nigeria want to start having the share of the 13% derivation formula. Derivation formula. Oh, wow. 13% of any crude oil sale in Nigeria, they will take 13% because they are oil producing states now. Whatever. That's what I heard. Until somebody sent me a clip of Kolu talking about how he brought electricity to Nigeria. Obasanjo killed it, which is a lie. The Enron that Tinubu brought to Nigeria. Are you with me? That Enron, a subsidiary of the American Enron, which went bankrupt because of corruption and all of that back then. You know Enron. Now I think they changed name. And those of them who put together the package in Lagos back then, they started a power plant in Lagos. Do you know they still have the power plant in Lagos? They are generating that power. They are generating that power in that Lagos now. It's just that, like others, now Zobo, that they generate, but the problem is to distribute. Now, Tinubu is telling people that the reason why Nigeria have no electricity is because Obasanjo killed that Enron, a demented one. He was talking at a restaurant somewhere after the Charlatan House show, the circus at the, sorry, people have changed the name. They don't call it Chatham House anymore. Many people are now calling the place Charlatan's House in London. After that, Tinubu was talking. Sorry that he's screaming, okay? Just manage him. There's something I'm still going to share with you. Go on.
But if you are winning, let it be.
Including coming to London. Yes, so let's go. Thanks to Adja. Thank you very much, Adja.
I should leave it alone. At least you came. Adja.
Yes, so.
And I'm speaking in London. Not in Jigawa.
Jagaba.
No. So it's a great thing that you are alive to tell this story. Just give the assurance of never to give up. Broadband, creation, energy that you talk about, if they've taken our advice since the beginning of democracy in 1999, we brought investment that brought in Enron, and my deputy then is here.
Yes, sir.
And then so many other innovative things because of a great deal of exposure. The corporate council in America, they were ready as a consortium to get funding for us. Yes, opposition politics. The old man, Obasanjo, rejected it. The idea. Here we in Nigeria.
These are the lies they tell. You know, when you tell lies many times, they become the truth. That you yourself telling the lie, you begin to believe it. Some of you probably believe that too. Do you? Obasanjo was building about 11 power stations back then, if you remember. They have nothing to do with this charlatan. Okay? So, at the time, not like now, there was no law that allowed them to build their power station independently. But under that same Obasanjo, that came to be. State could build one. I remember Benga Daniel also bought some power generating equipment for OK Moson then. You know, they imported a lot. They wanted to build power station so that they can test it by building a power station, 24 hours electricity for the government house, for themselves. He never did. They were building part of it, and I think they never completed it. Amosun came, used the remaining part that they could use out of the part they brought in, and completed it, and he was enjoying 24 hours electricity in Okemoson. That's exactly what this charlatan was talking about. He brought in an idea of a state should generate their own electricity. For Lagos State, he wanted to generate, he was governor of Lagos. He wanted to generate electricity for Lagos State. That should be the question they should be asking him. It has nothing to do with Obasanjo. Nothing. But there are many, many of you educated Egbons and you Lori Bruko Egbofu that are looking for some of the cheap lies that you can use to push this relic, Tifnumbu, and blackmail everybody you can blackmail. And in fact, present him as somebody who is a genius, a smart person, because some of you are so dumb. And we can tell. Not because you old make you sensible. Some of you don't get sense. Old people without sense. Tifnumbu, he see himself as a very, very intelligent person among the fools that have managed to live in his full paradise. Because if they were better off, your life should be better off. Lagos State should have 24 hours electricity by now. He's talking about years ago. Obasanjo's power station that today they are saying he spent 16 billion. I think I have told you times here with that number that sometimes saying that again and again is one of the reasons why you will never possibly agree or take the truth. Obasanjo never spent $16 billion on electricity. The real story. He said he was building 11 power stations across Nigeria that could then help generate at least over 20,000 megawatt of electricity in Nigeria. Those power stations were existing until Yaradua came. The failure of Obasanjo himself, that is now the father of trying to motivate. People like that don't motivate people like us anymore. He's a failure, a living failure himself. How did he fail? He was building 9 power stations across Nigeria, right? That could possibly have helped your power generation today. They budgeted that the whole thing was going to cost them $16 billion. So within a year or two, they have started building this, about 9 of them, across Nigeria. I remember then, there is actually one in Papalanto in Abeokuta in Ogun State. A huge power station there. Obasanjo was one of them, right? Now, within a year or two, Obasanjo's government paid out over $3 billion. And Yaradua came in after that. Yaradua came in, and you know what he did? He wanted to probe the money Obasanjo budgeted for the power station, how much they have paid to the contractors, right? And that's the failure of Obasanjo. Yaradua wanted to retire after being the governor of Katsina State 2 times. He wanted to retire as a lecturer in Katsina University or somewhere to go and teach. He already received a terminal letter. A letter from his own doctor that he had a terminal disease. He could die anytime. So he wanted to retire. Obasanjo in vengeance that Nigerians denied him third term, the wicked old man brought a dying man to come and be president of Nigeria. The intention then was that constitutionally, if Yaradua should die before the election, let's say a month or two before the election, constitutionally, Obasanjo will have the right to suspend the constitution, okay, until, and continue in office until the party can produce another candidate that can then stand in an election within 90 days. All of this, as mad as they sounded, right? Yaradua was a punishment for Nigerians from Obasanjo. But Obasanjo was the first victim of his own creation. A sick Yaradua decided to probe Obasanjo. The media was talking about 16 billion. Obasanjo spent 16 billion on power. Obasanjo said, guess what happened? Elumelu. They said Elumelu should go and head the House committee that is going to investigate the power investment of Obasanjo. They spent 2 years investigating how much Obasanjo spent on power. All the power stations, the project, everything stopped. By then, this Kolu don't leave power. And his Enron deal was still in place to be sustained by his own successor, Isaleko Albert Einstein, Fashola. So it has nothing to do with Federal. It has nothing to do with Abuja. It has nothing to do with anybody in Abuja. It was purely his business in Lagos. But you see, the educated illiterate or educated idiots who love to spread all the lies and make them, they believe in their lies. Yaradua said Obasanjo spent $16 billion. The media said Obasanjo spent $16 billion. Elumelu investigating Obasanjo said that Obasanjo, they've discovered that the $3 billion or so Obasanjo paid to the contractors. Some of the money have not been used for the power. Within a year of investigating or 2 years of investigating Obasanjo's power investments, Elumelu himself came on, and Elumelu and his team investigating those who stole power money. They themselves are accused of collecting over 20 billion naira as bribe from contractors that they are investigating. At the investigator, at the investigated, at the investigatee, at the investigator, the whole investigation enter caution. Finally, Yaradua died. At the 16 billion, at the 3 billion, at the and that, you are all left in darkness. Now, Kolu is talking about bringing Aaron down to Nigeria. Obasanjo didn't take it. And you educated morons, you are repeating that. I mean, it's so insulting anyway, but it's Nigeria. Foolish people get confidence. Wise people get doubts. Do you know that? The reason why the world is mad, the reason why mad people are in charge of the world today is because foolish people, stupid people, fanatics, they are so confident these days. People we no get sense. They will be speaking publicly with confidence. You will get sense. You will even get small sense. That your small sense, you no get confidence. All you have to do is what? You are doubting yourself. What if, A times B plus C is equal to X, find X, X is A, B, C, D. But you are confused. A foolish person go just say, X is A, B, C. He say, but how did you arrive at that? Ogbeno, they ask me a question. If you know understand how I arrive at that, go and work it out. X is A, B, C, period. Foolish people. You will get sense. Continue to work. You get answer. You see the doubt yourself. That's how you arrive at here. Social media now give all of us some voice that make foolish people sound like they are intelligent if they can play the emotional game very well. And a lot of you can actually fall for that. No substance, no content, no real thing. Just blabbing because they are very, very confident of what they are doing. Hey, I will deal with you. I beg Mazi, don't deal with him. Forgive him. Forgive her. Say, are you talking to me? Do you know who you are talking to? I say, Mayegu no vex, Mayegu no vex, you don't provoke Mayegu now. You, this guy, do you know this? You do know that Mayegu has millions of people? I say, you see, if I be a foolish person, and confidence, all I need is just a confidence. And some people will say, yes, no substance. And that is why you have it today that foolish people are telling you, a foolish person like Tinubu, old as well, they are telling you about things that they have no idea of. Something like this. Power is not given to you at a restaurant. Yeah? No, you don't get power from restaurants. No, you have to snatch it. You have to fight it. Blah, 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 blah. In Tinubu's way, hello, prepare for election, ballot snatching. Well, no, it won't be new. But it's already motivating the Abrodian Lagos Abobakus. Is motivating the Abrodian Buhari idiots, bat idiots. Is telling them, even though no be people like you go help us take the power, una go just help us, spread the lies. Una they abroad, they tell them, say, you understand me very well. Because you see that power, now grab, we go grab them. Go.
The anthropology of it. Where are we? No. Political power is not going to be served in a restaurant. It's not served in a la carte. It's what we are doing. It's being determined to do it. At all costs. Fight for it. Grab it. Snatch it.
Yes, sir.
And run with it.
Yes, sir. Jagaban. Jagaban.
So, don't call you to drop quotes. Ancestor don't drop quotes. The next thing is you have to clap. Jagaban, Jagaban. They've been grabbing power. In Lagos State, for example, they've been grabbing power. 23 years after the smart Tinubu, who was possibly entering a metro in London, a metro in New York, or in Washington, or wherever he lived in America back then, Chicago. He became a governor, and 2022, they are now running a test for monorail in Lagos. They say, he's a very smart man. Umashu. Grab the power. Grab it. Run. It's not going to be served to you at the restaurant. Yes, he's right. They won't give it to you in the at the restaurant. But you can give away your own liberty at a restaurant where they feed you to give them away. Like some of you are willing to, free of charge. They're not even supposed to. They're not supposed to. You know what I mean? They're not supposed to stress too much to get that your endorsement. It's just there. You're willing, on the, for a pot of, for a plate of porridge. It's there. Just pay the price. Another one, which I want to touch, I don't think time is still going to be on our side to doing that. But I want to take calls. I don't know. I want to take calls. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to let you see this. I saw it earlier, even though I want to talk about it, but I won't talk much about it. The Lagos State, people destroying people's Atifku's campaign in Lagos. What's happen now? Lagos. They don't pay well. What's happen? Or when I just want to say Lagos be your Lagos, Abi. Because this video of Atifku in Lagos, that same Lagos, somehow they give me some,
I know they hear you, Lagos. God bless you all. God bless you all. I want to give you a short history. This history is about 53 years ago when I came to Lagos in 1969. There was only one old Tata bridge built by the Europeans. No second mainland bridge.
By the Europeans.
No mainland bridge. No Tafawa Balewa Square. That was when I came to Lagos. All of you were not born there. Now, I want to tell you.
I think when you call Lagos, all of you are not born.
I want to tell you. This is a fact. You can go and check.
Now my president.
The federal government.
I tell you before, now your president.
Build the second mainland bridge. The federal government rebuilt the old Tata bridge. The federal government.
I'm so sorry, yeah. I forgot about it. I think that's the reason why I wanted to share it with you. Okay. somebody in the background, he said, a bridge was built by the Europeans. And he had to say it loud, like Atiku said, Europeans. Then Atiku now said, when he came to Lagos, some of you are not, all of you are not born. I was like, like, any Latin, you know, I'm sorry. Usually it gets to me that way sometimes, okay? So anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to go and get my tea, all right? When I make my tea, I'll come back and take calls, okay? 1 or 2 calls, then we'll call it a night. You can also call in and say your mind as well. Thank you so much for being part of this tonight, okay? Tell me, how has it been? I mean, did this video work perfectly well on your screen? Like the picture, the image, 4K. You see this new device I got, it's, you know, it cost me a lot, okay? About £1,400, put it that way, £1,400. And I've been like, oh, more, make this thing sharp, do the job. If you don't do the job, oh boy, in this cost of living crisis in the UK, I go para, like for real. And I don't like returning things. So it's very expensive, not too expensive, but like more for this period. Now I've been like, okay, I'm going to try it tonight. And I've tried this so far, so good. I want you to tell me the voice, the picture, the everything. Fine, Abi? Well, that's good. So the next thing I'm going to put my money on now is going to be a new camera. There's this camera I want. The camera itself is going to cost me about £4,000. Yeah, £4,000. So I'm going to start saving for it. And once I get that, I can have like about 2-3 cameras. I'll have one here. I'll have one here. I'll have another one there so that you can see different shots of me. And it can look pretty much like, wow, that's a studio. But that's my dream. I've got a lot of stuff here that does that for me in a way, but I've not got cameras that could give me all of that boss. I'm going to get to that part too soon. Now, you don't go anywhere. If you want to say 1 or 2 things tonight, I'm going to, yeah, it's 4K. You know, it's not even just 4K. Oh. My camera is a 4K HD. I mean, so Ultra HD. Sorry, yeah, Ultra HD. My new iMac is 4.5 Ultra HD. That's a 4.5K Ultra HD. But if you don't do the job, I go cry. So you need to let me know. Make me feel better that but my Yegun is working well. Very, very perfect. Then I can say the money we have spent, it no be waste. I'll be back. And like I said, please show some love. Like the broadcast. Subscribe to my channel. Stay back by, you know, setting up your notification as well. And if you want to be part of it tonight, yeah, just check the screen. That number on your screen, right? It's a WhatsApp call number, okay? Not direct number. When I come back, I'll pick some calls. And then we can call it a night. Don't go anywhere.
onye du IPOB. O meriwo n'Izu Olile ya Abakare Mama Daura Unapuri Meri Nandi win the war Python dance 1, Python dance 2 Now Python dance 3 Unapuri Meri Nandi win the war Python dance 1, Python dance 2 Now Python dance 3 Unapuri Meri Nandi Nande bụ onye du IPOB o meriwo n'izu ndị iro ya Abakare Mama Daura unu abụghị meri Nnamdi win the war Python dance 1, Python dance 2 na Python dance 3 unu abụghị meri Nnamdi win the war
Hi there, Wabo.
Ahmed,
how are you?
It be like say this your